Well, the DA Federal Chairperson Helen Zille is expected to cast a special vote in Pinelands in Cape Town this morning. Special votes have been set aside by the IEC today and tomorrow before voting begins on Wednesday. The IEC in the province says it is well prepared for the process. SABC News reporter Vanessa Poonah joins us now live for the latest. A very good morning to you, Vanessa. Thank you so much for joining us. The IEC, we've heard saying that it is ready to welcome those voters registered for special voting. What are you seeing there? Is that an accurate reflection of what's happening there?
Indeed, good morning to you. And we arrived here at the Pinelands High School voting station about an hour ago. And at that time, of course, still no voters at that time. But the IEC officials were all present on site, as well as police members and so on. And as we were sitting and waiting, we also saw some voters coming through. A couple and then two ladies came by, and they literally, I see, are busy with the voting process at the moment. And of course, at this voting station, we understand that some 90 special votes have been registered here, with over 100 home visits taking place from this Pinelands Centre. But of course, someone who's just arrived and almost as quickly came out of the voting station is DA Federal Chairperson Helen Zille, who's casted a special vote. A very warm good morning to you, Ms. Zille. That was seamless and painless, wasn't it?
No, I haven't voted yet. I'm just standing in the queue there, but I came out to say hello to you. So I'm here waiting in the queue with my ID.
So you said earlier on, as you came walking in, that you won't tell us who you're voting for, which we can understand. But of course, billed as probably one of the more important elections in South Africa. 2 days and counting for the 29th of May, and of course from today and tomorrow, special votes. Special about this election, critical about this election.
Well, it is a very important election. Many people have said it's the most important election since 1994, and I would agree with that. I think it's going to be the first time that the ANC falls under 50%, and it will never get above 50% again. This is a proportional representation system, and they're likely to keep on falling. It's been the pattern with so-called liberation movements throughout the whole of Africa. But I was joking when I said I wouldn't tell you who I was going to be voting for. Obviously, I'll vote for the DA on all three ballots.
Also very interesting, for the first time, independent candidates. What does this mean for, I suppose, strengthening South Africa's democracy?
Well, it does not strengthen South Africa's democracy to have a proportional representation system without thresholds. It means that you can get very undemocratic results. So, for example, Mr. Gwamanda is the mayor of Johannesburg on less than 1% of the vote. Now, that clearly does not reflect the voters' intention. So it is absolutely essential in our proportional representation system to bring in thresholds that create a minimum of the number of votes that have to be won for a certain party for them to get any seats at all. And that is absolutely essential if we want a stable set of coalitions. Currently, we have 1- and 2-person parties, and sometimes a whole raft of them in a sphere of government holding the balance of power, and the result can only be instability and ungovernability, which is what we're seeing in Johannesburg, in Ekurhuleni, and other places.
Ms. Zille, you would have been to various provinces, etc., over the past few months, also looking at various voting stations and the work of the IEC. Satisfied with the processes so far?
Well, today, of course, is the big test. The DA, as you know, took the IEC and the Department of International Relations and Cooperation to court because they did not open all consulates worldwide to overseas voting. We won that case, but it was too late for the IEC to make the arrangements to do so. So we are very concerned about that. It means that a lot of South Africans currently living abroad who want to help shape the future of their country, that most of them want to return to, were deprived of a ballot. So that is very unfortunate. We've also had other grave concerns about MK storming into the IEC centre where the ballots were kept yesterday, and MK Party being able to get access there and try to call the shots. That's extremely concerning that any political party can do that. So there have been areas of grave worry, put it that way. And of course, people are going to have to take longer to vote now because there are 3 ballots. And if you add just a few seconds on every vote, it has a knock-on effect on the queues. So we're going to be asking everyone, please, your vote is critical. South Africans know the power of one. We won the rugby quarter-final, semi-final and final by a single point. That is how important your vote is. So even if you stand in the queues a little longer, please take time to do it. It is crucial for the future of this country, and this is the one moment you can make your voice heard. It's also very important for the IEC to have the voter management devices working properly. And I just hope they've got it right this time, because in 2021, when I was in Nelson Mandela Bay at the Ferndale voting station, I'm afraid it was chaos. It took 3 minutes for every individual to vote, and of course the queue was twice round the block by that time.
Listen, I'm not going to hold you up any longer. I see more people arriving, so we don't want you to lose your spot in the queue. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Of course, the DA Federal Chairperson Helen Zille about to cast a vote here at the Pinelands High voting station in Cape Town. Of course, as special votes open for today as well as tomorrow. Those that are infirm, those that are elderly, those who will not be at their voting stations on election day, the 29th, of course, would have applied for the special votes, and that will be taking place for the duration of today as well as tomorrow.
All right, Vanessa, we'll leave you there. Thank you so much for your update. Vanessa Poonah there is out in Pinelands, in Cape Town, where the DA Federal Chair, Helen Zille, is just on the queue to cast her special vote. And we do understand that a total of 1,668,076 South Africans have been approved for special votes. And of these, a total of 624,593 will be visited by trained election officials at their homes or even places of confinement.